I'm here live behind the scenes, but we'll go ahead and listen to the video. And if you have any questions, please make comments in the comment section of wherever you're listening from, and I'll be sure to answer them. So enjoy. Hi, this is Rhonda Green, or That Green Woman, and we're going to talk a little bit today about online business, just a little bit on wholesale and actual mall stores. And we're going to use my business's Greeneglass and Vase Candle as kind of examples. And this is just kind of an overview. But we'll get into more of the nitty gritty and nuts and bolts, whatever you want to call it, later on in other videos. So let me go ahead and read off the cards that I already have planned. Okay. And so we own Vase Candle and Greeneglass. Okay. Now, these businesses we've had for well over 30 years. And over 20 of those years have been online business and wholesale, right? And so Greeneglass is basically just cut stained glass. You can actually, with some of it, you can actually fuse glass or melt glass together to make art objects or crafts or what have you. But a lot of it, well, all of it can be used as mosaics or stained glass in stained glass projects. So basically, I cut bigger pieces down into shapes like triangles, rectangles, squares. And so it's a custom cut and the volume that mostly mosaic people need and fusers need. Vase Candle, on the other hand, is a candle, right? We do carry jars, large jars, melts, and refills. Now but the thing about Vase Candle, the thing about Vase Candle is that we actually make the glass containers that the refills and the small jars go into. So you can get a vase and that will hold the refill candle and it'll burn 50 hours, fragrance all the way through, self-trimming wick, all of that, all of the good stuff about a candle. But the glass is reusable, right? So the candle gets down to about a half an inch. You wipe out what's left while it's still warm and put another one in. So you reuse the glass over and over again. And we've been doing this since 2000 or even before that. And 2001 is when we got our mall store at the Green Tree Mall the first time. Actually, 2001. November and December, we had a mall store and we just kind of stayed until 2003. And but we'll get into that a little bit later. All right. So Vase Candle, we took Vase Candle wholesale at one point from 2000 to 2007. And we had been going to wholesale shows like Gatlinburg and in Philadelphia. Also, I think we did one in Chicago, but I sent people up there, which that was not the greatest idea. St. Louis also has a really great wholesale show. And we had Vase Candle in retail stores in 25 states right up until 2007 when the recession hit. It was just too hard to keep track, and it was just hard seeing businesses go out of business at that time. And we had a few stores that defaulted on us that just kind of bit us in the behind, and we just didn't want to do it anymore. And that's when also barcodes started becoming almost a necessity when you actually had product on selling product wholesale. They needed that barcode, and it's only been within the last 10 years that they really have offered where you can get barcodes and actually use them for your products. Okay. So, and I don't think that we'll be doing brick and mortar stores, or I mean wholesale stores shows. We'll probably wait a couple years. The popularity of actual stores is starting to come back now after COVID. I think that we'll see an increase in that. I don't know. We're still recovering. I think this year is going to be a pretty good year, but it's still tough out there, and we're comfortable with what we're doing right now. And unless we really need to make a whole lot of money, then we may not be doing wholesale shows. But that's also an opportunity for somebody else. And this is one of the reasons we're doing these videos. All right, so right now, most of our marketplaces this year are online. We have Amazon, which is exclusively Vase Candle, and we'll go into what sells on what site and how, okay, later on. But we had actually tried Greeneglass Mosaics on Amazon, and that it just doesn't sell. And the sales fluctuate a great deal on Amazon with Vase Candle, and it has a lot to do with candle burning. Normally, Vase Candle brings in about a third of its sales the first 2/3 of the year, and 2/3 of the sales the last 1/3 of the year. And we'll talk more about like business cycle and whatnot. But anyway, we have one eBay site that we've had since before 2001, and we have both Greeneglass and Vase Candle on there. We have vasecandle.com and greenglass.com also. Etsy, we have Greeneglass. We have separate accounts for the Greeneglass and the Vase Candle. And then we also have a friend of mine actually carries Vase Candle at the Campbellsburg Hardware that's on Highway 60. And she basically takes the orphans. You can get vases and dishes at a considerably discount price, as well as candles and stuff like that. So that's always something that you need to look into, but we'll go into that also later on. Now, this year, like last year, we're going to have a mall store at the Green Tree Mall. We've done these over the years. There was a time between 2015 and 2 years ago that I was actually working a full-time job. That's the only time, about 7 years of a full-time real job. And we just got to the point where we, had things paid off, and I could go ahead and start doing what I normally did before, as far as like the business and stuff like that. And we would, every once in a while, go into the mall and open up a store just for the Christmas season. Now, what these stores are is that if they have an empty storefront, they want to see it filled for the Christmas season. And it cuts down on your overhead. As a business person, in a lot of ways, I work pretty much 8 weeks out of the year. Like I said, 2/3 of the sales happen a lot of times in the last third of the year. And Vase Candle is just a really good way, a really good product to go ahead and do this with. We started out at the Green Tree Mall, and like I said, we go back occasionally every once in a while. And this year, I'm really looking forward to it because it hadn't been, last year was the first time in a number of years. And this year, I kind of have my stuff together and know what to really expect. Okay. So our storefront, as you can see, is it's 1,700 square feet. It was a jewelry store. It's an awesome location, but we do pay extra to have what we have. Now, the mall store in 2023, we have the same locations, like we said, and we will be open from November 3rd till November 28th. Now we have, I have a very precise way that I like to do that. Normally we don't come in that early. November 3rd is really early for us. Usually like to wait a week because I'm the one that runs the store and I'm the one that's always there. I open it, I close it, I do all of that, and I make a lot of the product at the same time. So a lot of times we wouldn't go in that early, but uh, this year is going to be an 8-weekend year. Now, uh, let me go ahead and digress a little bit. The way we have our business set up is that for Greeneglass and Vase Candle, we do not carry finished product. Out in the building, we have a variety of glass sheets for stained glass that can be either made into vases or dishes or cut into pieces for mosaics, fused, that kind of thing. So we have everything stacked up and in sheets. We don't make any pre-made candles. We just pour to order. Uh, we even make the glass to order, vases and candles and, vases and dishes. It just takes overnight, and we have it down pat to the point that everything is quick and precise, and we know how much it takes, how much time it takes, and how much we need to have. And so we've been very lucky to be able to monitor our inventory and be able to keep the glass that we need to have available, and the supplies. And we don't carry inventory until we have a mall store. Now we do have like orphans that are not, like the glass will not, we don't have a lot of control over the shape of the glass. We have a little bit of control, and sometimes the glass isn't the shape that we'd like it to be. And so we call those the orphans. Or it's glass that we've tried out that we aren't going to carry, and that kind of thing. And that's what the mall store is all about. And we can present a lot of inventory to people in a very high traffic area for those 2 months. And I encourage people to buy for the rest of the year if they want to. If they come in, they can smell everything. It makes just a really easier way to find out what people like, what shape and glass they like, and just to sell a lot of inventory. So we do have inventory when we do have the store. But by not having inventory most of the year, like right now, I don't have to go out and, I have a few orders, but I don't have an overwhelming amount. And so there's a lot less anxiety. I don't have a lot of overhead. Everything's made to order, so I have enough supplies to do anything that I've already got listed. So there's a lot less anxiety about actually working in a panic, if that makes any sense. The overhead for the business here at home, our overhead for the business is about $3,000 a year. Now that includes insurance, that includes heat and electric, and just the bare basic bones. So, 3,000 for the full year. And I think that's a little bit high. I didn't really look, but I kind of just figured in my head. Now, we do pay more, but that's not overhead. If we make more, say like online, we pay more in fees. And so that actually is, if we were making more, then we're good. But we don't drastically have to make drastic amounts of money to cover overhead that we're not really using all the time. The store is different. When we do the store for those 2 months, the overhead is just right at $5,300, just for the basic rent, electric and water. All right. and we'll be putting about 6,000 miles on our cars in those 2 months where I'll be driving up and actually staying there too. So that's part of the overhead. But that is, we can't wiggle out of that. That is actually what we have to pay now that we've signed the contract and we're there. But for the store, and a store that we've actually had experience with in a location in the mall that we've had years of experience with, it's an acceptable cost, and we should at least break even. Okay. So last year we broke even, and at the mall, and it wasn't an outstanding year, but we didn't lose our tuchus, right? And we had money at the end of the year after all the bills and taxes were paid, and so we were happy with that. We did exactly what we thought we would do, and which is a little disappointing. But we had the Arctic blast go through, and there were days that right in the tender last couple weekends of the holiday season, the Arctic blast came through, and we had a lot of inventory afterwards, but that's okay. We did okay. And we sold right around 600 pieces of glass, and right around 1,000 candles. I haven't really checked on how many candles we did sell, but that it was a lot. And but we did have some left over. Now, this year's holiday season, once again, we're going to have 8 weekends, which is big. It's really big. And with Christmas being on Monday, you'll have Sunday afternoon to go ahead and have that last minute, Christmas Eve shopping, that last 6 hours or whatever. And that Saturday before is usually when we have our biggest days. And so it's just a premium year, and it's hard to give up. So we're going to go ahead and work it, since we've gotten everything out of mothballs last year and we kind of know what we're getting into. We'll have a better handle on it, and it'll be a much more fun experience because it's workcation for me. It's not just a store. I do enjoy it. Okay. So, let me go ahead and say, 20% of our sales. It's unusual, like I said, for me to go in early, like November 3rd. But like I said, the 8 weekends is important, and just go ahead and bring in that first weekend is great. And we do about 20% of our sales at the store in November, and then 80% in December. So that's just a how-to. So here you've gotten just an overview of what we've got and what we're going to talk about in more videos. And we'll get down into the more nut bolt kind of situation going on, and try to give you an insight into what business really is. I've been watching and seeing that there are a lot of articles and business make $1 million on Amazon, and really business is not like that. It's not like that for me. And I've had 30 years of experience in it. And I hate to see people lose their tuchus if they just knew or could relax or know what they're looking at. It's been a great bonus to my life, and it's given me a great deal of freedom where I stayed home with my kids and raised my kids, and been active in the community the way I wanted to be active in the community. And so I want to encourage that makes a healthier community if people have power over their lives, and a way to increase self-esteem and just fun. And so, and we'll go into other things that I do in, especially IndianaProud.com, which is basically a news site, is a form of a news site. And we'll go into that because that journalism and news in small communities is hard to come by. And that also good journalism, good news reporting, ways to do it is important for a healthy community. So we'll actually do videos on that also. Anyway, so hey, there it is. I'm Rhonda Green, that green woman, and I'll see you next time. All right, thank you, and we'll see you next time.